welcome to Jim of the Hills. We're so glad you can be here with us this week. We have Dr. Mark Fagan from our Sociology and Social Work Department here as our guest today, but he is not limited to strictly that. He is involved in so many other avenues, not only with the university, but with the state and with the nation. So we're going to give Mark an opportunity to kind of give us a little bit of background information on you first, and let our viewers get to know a little bit about you before we get into all this other technical stuff.
Great. Well, I was born and raised in Calhoun County.
You're a homeboy, huh?
Graduated from Piedmont High School in 1970, came to Jacksonville State as a freshman, graduated from here in 1974 with a major in psychology and a minor in economics.
I need to point out, a JSU graduate. Sure. I always try to let folks know that we're proud of our graduates.
Sure.
Okay.
Worked some in psychiatric social work, went down to the University of Alabama and got a master's degree in psychiatric social work, and worked with Dr. N.R. Stallworth for a while doing some psychotherapy. Then went back to the University of Alabama and got a doctorate in social policy, planning, and administration, and a doctoral minor in human resources management in 1981. Then came back to Jack State to begin working on the minor in social work. Dr. Becky Turner and I came the same year, and we started teaching the minor in social work out of the Department of Sociology in those days, and we were able to get approval to offer a major in social work in 1988, and we actually had our first program graduates with a major in social work in the spring of 1988. We got our social work program accredited by the Council on Social Work Education, which is a national organization, in 1992, and we were reaffirmed again in 1996 for 8 years. So our program is fully accredited through 2004, and we have had approximately 700 graduates since that time, and we're now the largest undergraduate social work program in the state. And students that graduate from our program can be licensed to work in any aspect of entry-level social work. We have approximately 200 majors, and we're graduating about 75 a year now. So we're very proud of the program. We have relationships with a lot of the agencies in the region. As a matter of fact, about 20 of our students each year get to do paid internships when they do their practice social work, or we call it their field practicum.
That is awesome.
The East Alabama Regional Planning and Development Commission's Area Agency on Aging has our students in their supervision, and they have stipends. We have arrangements with DHR in Calhoun County and DHR in Etowah County, with the Juvenile Probation and Family Court, and plus we have students placed in hospitals and child welfare agencies all over the region, and so we're just very proud of our students and what they're doing.
That's wonderful. That is great. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we will be back to find out all that Dr. Fagan does, not only for Jacksonville State, but for the state of Alabama. So stay with us here on Jim of the Hills.
We all enjoy looking at the beautiful holiday decorations on display this time of year. During this holiday season, you can enjoy beautiful decorations and help area nonprofit organizations at the same time. This year's Light the Way holiday tree celebration benefits nonprofit groups in our own community. These groups have decorated holiday trees on display at Quintard Mall. Enjoy the display and vote for your favorite tree. Your vote can help that organization win money for their cause. Plus, when you vote for your favorite tree, you're automatically registered to win free gift certificates from Quintard Mall. The event is possible thanks to sponsorships with Cable One, Ron Newton Pontiac Cadillac GMC Volvo, Quintard Mall, K98, and TV24. Help us light the way in our community this holiday season. Pick up your voting ballot at the Guest Services Desk at Quintard Mall to vote for your favorite holiday tree. Now through December 16th at Quintard Mall.
Buster Miles Chevrolet and Buster Miles Ford. I've had work done with both places, and I would recommend them to anybody. They give them good service and be reasonable about it.
It
every time our car needs service, we come to Buster Miles and they take care of us right away.
They make you feel like you're part of a family, and we really appreciate that.
Buster Miles Ford treats you like you want to be treated, whether it's service or sales, they'll treat you right.
Hi, I'm Larry Jackson, president of Jackson Mortgage Company. At Jackson Mortgage, we offer VA, FHA, and conventional financing at very competitive rates with service second to none. For your free same-day loan approval, call us today at 237-5177.
The Jackson Company. For all your home mortgage needs, the Jackson Company provides service before and after the sale. 1419 Layton Avenue in Anniston.
If you need a home loan, call my daddy.
Hi, and welcome back to Gem of the Hills. As I told you, we have Dr. Mark Fagan with us, who is the acting department head for our Sociology and Social Work Department here at Jacksonville State. And you have plenty to do here on campus, directing both of those departments and all of the things that, or that combined department and all of the things that you have going on there. But you're also involved in some fascinating things involved with retirees.
In 1983, Mr. Pat Shaddix, who is the director for the Center for Economic Development here at Jacksonville State University over in our College of Commerce and Business Administration, was able to put together a research team of professors to go out into the counties in primarily eastern Alabama to help determine what those counties could do to create jobs and economic development. And I got involved early on, and what we found was a lot of those counties couldn't really compete in what we call the smokestack chasing or the silicon chip sweepstakes. But they did have what tourists and retirees were looking for. And so the question was, well, what sort of an impact do tourists and retirees have? So I began researching that and found that there was very little data out there. So we published a monograph in the mid-'80s that was one of the first of its type in the nation, where we just sort of compiled all the literature. But then we started doing our own primary surveys, and by 1988 we realized that this was a very viable economic development activity, especially in the rural parts of the South, for instance. And so we began hosting conferences on economic development, and were able to get the attention of the governor of Alabama in 1988, 89, and so I was released half-time from university for 4 years to work with the Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs to establish the first in-house or in-state government program to attract retirees. As you know, we had a tourism agency and we had an agency that attracted industry. So we were able to get that in place at ADECA, and we ended up working with some 97 communities that wanted to be a part of that program. And we got a lot of national recognition for the state and for those efforts here at Jacksonville State. And so we just continued to research that and write reports and look at and study what other communities were doing around the nation and what planned retirement / resorts were doing and what impact they had.
Let me interrupt you. Were we the only university involved in this?
Well, there were some other schools that were doing things, but we had just sort of carved out a niche, especially in the state of Alabama. We were doing more than anybody else. But around the nation, there were some rural sociologists and some ag economists and a few geographers that were working on this, and maybe a couple of social gerontologists. But they were mostly looking at migration data and demographic data. So we were the first ones to really apply it toward economic development. And we've been in most of the national media, from New York Times, Wall Street Journal, to AARP's publication, which goes out to about 35 million people. It's been amazing. We've been in almost all the newspapers, major newspapers in the country, and most of the magazines like Smart Money and Time and Newsweek and a lot of those things. So it's been amazing, the publicity we've gotten on this. Wow. But it amazes me that the media feeds on itself. So people want to do a story on this, and everybody likes to think about retirement. Well, they would, in retirement places, well, they would call me, and we would send them a little care package showing the other media that we'd been in. But so we have generated a lot of interest in that, and then I branched out and started studying retirement places, and have been out and worked some for the state of Arizona recently within the last 3 years, and looked at communities in their rural areas, places like Wilcox, Arizona, and Holbrook, and Lake Havasu City, and Yuma, Arizona. So
I've heard of Yuma, but the others
so
aren't on my list of places to visit.
You know, and then also, since we helped develop a statewide program, I've done work in a lot of other states like West Virginia and Arkansas and South Carolina and Tennessee, and we get called on to speak a lot at
I was going
places.
to ask you about that, if you do a lot of presentations, and I'm sure that you must, because it sounds like from all that y'all have done that you're kind of you're out in the forefront as far as all of this data and research goes.
Well, it's just the fact that we've worked on it since 1983. You know, over time you tend to develop some expertise in a subject, and we've just been around longer and stayed focused in that area. But we're very proud right now that over in Pat Shattuck's operation, we're hosting the American Association of Retirement Communities, which is an organization of planned and naturally occurring retirement communities. And we're going into our second year now of hosting that, and we've just had our second annual nationwide conference, and we just had it in Savannah, Georgia. Last year we were down in Biloxi, and this fall of 2002 we'll be in New Orleans, and so we're moving ahead with it.
Didn't they move their offices to here?
They sure did.
To our campus?
Sure did, from Western Kentucky. And so we're hosting that organization now, and we're getting calls from all over the country regularly. We're doing a newsletter that we put out quarterly that's going all over the nation, and we just got a contract from the Federal Economic Development Administration to write a how-to manual for attracting retirees for economic development. And so I'm in the process of compiling that, and hope to have it done by Christmas is my goal.
This Christmas?
Yes. We're looking to get that out there. It'll be dispensed all over the country, and we think we'll get a lot of mileage out of that. Once that hits, I think we'll get a lot more publicity for the state and for the university. So we're just, we're excited about what we're doing. We enjoy it, and we've learned a lot with it. And we're still very interested in it. Moving ahead.
That's just fascinating. And of course, I'm sure we could go on forever about the results of all of this information that you've gathered and that sort of thing. But as you said, we don't want to get a little too technical in all this.
I'll try to refrain from breaking out into a lecture here, Connie.
But yeah, that
since it's Christmas time here, okay?
That professor stuff just comes out in you. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a break right quick, and then we will come back and talk about some of the other tourism activities in the state of Alabama that you've been involved in. So stay with us here on Gem of the Hills, and we'll be right back with more of our conversation with Dr. Mark Fagan.
You know how important first impressions are. You keep your business neat and orderly, and you take pride in the professionalism of your staff. At Delta Security, we believe in the importance of first impressions, too. That's why our security personnel are professional, not only in their appearance, but also in the conduct of their duties. All are trained security professionals who take the assignment with your company just as seriously as you do. Your security person may be the first impression your company makes. Make it a good one by contacting Delta Security at 256-207-0171.
It's all about communicating on the job, around town, even across the country. And we're all about communications at Greer Communications. Cell phone service via Singular Wireless. Business and personal communications with radios from Kenwood, plus pagers, accessories, and more. And our service is second to none with trained professionals who really know what they're doing. If your problem is a failure to communicate, the solution is Greer Communications, 875 Old Birmingham Highway in Sylacauga. Communicate with us at 256-245-5055.
As broker of ERA King Real Estate, people ask me, how did you get to be number one? The answer is simple. Commitment. Commitment to training. Commitment commitment to technology, commitment to service with 2 locations. But our real strength is our people and their commitment to you. ERA King Real Estate. One team, one dream, committed to you.
Hello, I'm Sid Nichols, Director of Missions for the Calhoun Baptist Association. And I, along with our 92 Southern Baptist churches, want to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. We want to remind you that Jesus really is the reason for the season, and to encourage you to make Christ and His church an important part of your Christmas celebration. We want to always remember our greatest gift was when God gave His only begotten Son to be our Savior.
Welcome back to Jim of the Hills. We've been talking about all of this research and the work that you've been doing on retirees and tourism as well. All right, let's continue on as we were really actually doing in the break.
Sure. Alabama didn't have any large planned communities for retirees, such as the Sun City or something of that nature. So we went to Dr. David Bronner in the late 80s and early 90s, and we asked, he is head of the state retirement system. Right. And it's like a $28 billion fund now. And
but we all like him a lot.
We do.
You're a state employee.
Yeah, sure. So we asked Dr. Bronner if he would finance a developer to come in and build like a Sun City in Alabama, 3,000 to 5,000 acre development. And he said, sure, go